Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna start a reading vlog for The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. This is part of a series I'm doing this year where I have chosen 5 authors I have been meaning to read for a very long time, but I haven't read any of their books yet. This is the third one I'm gonna do. I already did Juliet Marillier and Robin Hobb, so if you're interested, those videos, those vlogs are already up on my channel. I had one okay experience and one really great experience, so I'm intrigued to see how the Terry Pratchett book will go. This is the first book of the Discworld series. I have heard that this is not the best entry point into the Discworld, but I just wanna read them in the order they were published. I don't know why. But that's just what works for my head. There is a ton of visuals with all of the possible entry points into the Discworld, so if you're interested in starting this series, I'm pretty sure you will find information on that. But I just decided plain old to start with the first book, and so yeah, I have no idea what awaits me here. I will give you quarterly updates, and this book is really short. It's only 200 and some pages, so yeah, this should be done very quickly. My goal is to read at least half of this today because currently it is the Medievalathon and this is one of the books I wanted to read for that. So I try to be quick with it and I hope I can give you some updates today. So I finished reading the first part of The Color of Magic, where we basically first learn a little bit about the Discworld. I think by now it is very well known that you have this huge turtle, and that turtle has 4 elephants on its back, and then on top of those elephants is the disc that these characters live on. And yeah, we basically have this wizard, which we can see right here. This is Rincewind, I think. I'm always bad with names, I'm so sorry. But yeah, he lives a normal life, just minding his own business, when one day he meets this character, and he is a tourist. He came from a different part of the Discworld, and he wants to visit this very, very big city. And basically he has a shit ton of gold and because of that people are freaking out. They're plotting how to get it, but as you can see from the picture, he's very kind-hearted and sweet, and he doesn't really understand that people are out to get him. And so yeah, this is just a chaotic duo, and in the first part we learn how they basically set the whole city on fire, and that is what you can see down here, I guess. And we have also this what's it called? I just read the book, you might think I remembered the word, but yeah, this is basically a chest with little legs, so it can travel by itself, which is very helpful. I wish I had something like that. Yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really fun. I really enjoyed the storyline so far. Many people have said that this is not a great point to start with the Discworld world, but so far I don't really know why. So yeah, I'm having a good time. I think it's just such a clever way to introduce a world through this tourist. Also, he's very much like us, so he has a camera, but it doesn't really work like our cameras. And he also sells insurance. And yeah, I think it's just very clever and I have a lot of fun. So I'm halfway through now. I just finished the second part, if you want to say so. And this one we follow these two characters that I already talked about after they told their story of burning down the city. And we basically follow a game of the gods that they play, and we see the roles that our two characters play in that. I really like the way that Terry Pratchett portrays the heroes in this, because they're not very smart, but I really like the way that Rune, or whatever you want to call him, is like actually good at this, even though he's really not that smart. So yeah, I really enjoy that, and I'm just having fun with this. I really thought it would be much more dry, because like a lot of people said that this is like a satire on the fantasy genre, and that you only really understand it if you have read a lot of the traditional fantasy, which I haven't. I haven't read a lot of fantasy that was published before the 80s, but I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I think that it's a pretty cool story on its own so far. I'm not really sure whether it will go anywhere per se. It feels a little bit anecdotal right now, but it's cute, it's fun, and it flies by, so yeah, what more could you want? I think I will go into the third part now. Probably won't finish it today, we'll see. But I'm glad I'm making very fast progress with this. So last night I did finish the third part of The Color of Magic. And this third part was quite the wild ride as well. This third part we get to meet the dragons, and I really enjoyed the exploration of that. I really liked some of the comments that were made. It also gave me a feeling of The Last Unicorn. I don't know if anyone remembers that storyline. But yeah, it definitely had those vibes with like the dead king and stuff. It was very, very intriguing. It gets super wild at the end. Like, there's this little scene at the end where you're like completely, almost taken out of the story because it gets so crazy. But then it kind of made sense, so I'm not mad about it. But yeah, this definitely shows the kind of genius that Terry Pratchett was. I really enjoyed this. I'm having so much fun. I think one thing I haven't talked about yet is the glimpses of death that we already get in this first book. I know that there is books that focus more on the character of Death, and I honestly can't wait to read them because he is so snarky and funny, and I enjoy his remarks a lot. I'm very glad I started with this book. I don't know why people say this is a bad way to enter, but I really like it. I feel like you get to see the world, you get to see some of the characters already, and it is, very episodic, but I enjoy that. I think it's fun, and I'm just having a great time with this book. So I hope tonight I will be able to finish the last part now, and then this will have been like probably the fastest read of this series of authors I wanted to try. So last night I finished The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. I'm here for the last update. I finished the fourth part. This book almost feels like it's 4 short stories, but with the same main characters, so it is this episodic character. This last part was also pretty wild. We do get kind of a pirate touch, but unfortunately we don't see too much of that. I would have liked to see more. I do love stories set at sea, so that would have been great. And then we traveled to the rim of the disc, so that was quite exciting. I really loved the exploration of this. I thought there were some hilarious moments, especially with the master craftsman who built this like capsule thing. That was such a weird a weird moment, but I could almost see it like a funny movie in front of me. It was very funny. But yeah, this does leave off on quite the cliffhanger. Not really, like, let's just say he's letting go of the cliff. But we don't know what happens after that. So I am really, really intrigued and excited to get into the second book of the Discworld, because I think there will be a little bit of more information on what's going to happen with some of these characters. I did really enjoy the ending. It is very fun. I really enjoyed the fact that the tourist... yeah, the way the tourist ended up, basically. I thought it was hilarious, but then I already said that, but the scenes with Death are so funny. Like, there is a scene where Death and Fate meet in this, and it's so funny. He's so pragmatic and, like, with such a dry humor. I love it, and I can't wait to see more of that character in future books. But yeah, it is, it's a really, really fun book. I really enjoyed it. It is quite short, but I think if you do enjoy Neil Gaiman, I haven't read a lot of his works, but there is definitely a similarity, and I totally see why these are the two authors that got together to write Good Omens, which I have read before and really enjoyed. I also gave that one 4 stars. So yeah, it's definitely a kind of humorous fantasy that I enjoy a lot. It's very whimsical, very clever, very smart humor. There is only one moment in here where I literally laughed out loud, and that is in the first prologue with the Big Bang Theory. I still have to laugh about that because it's so funny how they incorporated that, because obviously in real life we do have a Big Bang Theory about how the universe started, but it's a little bit different with the astrologists in the Discworld. So that was the only moment where I was like straight up laughing out loud. But I still think it's a really humorous, kind of clever, funny book. And yeah, I just can't wait to read more. I'm really, really happy because so many people said that this would be a bad way to start the Discworld, but I don't agree. I thought it was fun. I think that you get a glimpse of a lot of the Disc already in this book, and it is quite episodic, so it might feel a little bit disconnected to people who only enjoy reading novels. But yeah, this just gives the opportunity to explore quite a lot in this little book. So I really liked it, and I would recommend. Yeah, if you have read this, let me know what you thought. I know that this series is super popular, and I'm so glad to have finally started. I'm not quite sure when I will get to the second book, but yeah, it will probably happen soon. I will probably at least wish for it for Christmas if I don't get it earlier. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!